dog in me. Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening, and welcome to Posse Presents. We are back after having last week off due to the weather. This is that time of year. We're going to end up having probably a couple more cancellations the way the snow is already starting to fall. But, you know, we got to take them as they come, and it is what it is. I'm just always happy if it doesn't happen when there's a guest planned. That has happened a time or two, and then, you know, it's hard to reschedule sometimes. And, you know, if it's just a show that I'm putting together, it's a different story. I don't feel so bad about it. But anyway, gonna start tonight with a happy birthday shout out to a very, very dear person. You know, Facebook is a crazy thing. So many people who are on there know that, you know, you can find some real uncool people, and then you can find some people that just are so amazing. And this person that I'd like to wish a happy birthday to is kind of like the best friend I've never met. She's just amazing. Her and her husband do so much for the animals, for other people. She's funny. You know, the things that come out on her posts are just hilarious. She's got a singular sense of humor. She's always been a good friend from the very beginning, and so I want to wish a very happy birthday to Patricia Schmidt. It's easy. I can't even say it. Bark. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did post to her on Facebook from Little Man. But anyway, Tish, as she's known, a very happy birthday to you. I hope that Donnie treated you well. I'm sure he did. And, you know, just hope you had the very best day possible. And maybe by next year I'll be able to talk. So, back to the whole business of the cold and the snow. And, you know, I watch my dogs out there, and it's been pretty cold these last few days and nights. After 5 minutes, their little paws are going up, and, you know, they don't want to stand out in it, and they can't walk. Max is just, you know, he's still a year and a half, almost 2 years, well, almost 2 years, but he's still a baby, you know, and still getting used to stuff. But, you know, he's the one out of my bunch that, you know, 5 minutes in the snow and he can't walk and he's falling over and it's too cold for him. I don't understand how people leave animals outside in those kind of conditions. There are laws against tethering. There are laws against leaving your animals outside, and, you know, there shouldn't have to even be laws. It should be a matter of compassion and a matter of common sense. I can't imagine. So if you know of an animal that's being left outside in severe weather conditions, do something. Don't not get involved, because it's cruelty, and there's just no excuse for it. An animal should not suffer being made to live outside in all kinds of weather. So be vigilant. You know, if it's your neighbors and you don't want to get involved, sometimes your local animal control will be cool. I understand sometimes they're not. You don't want your name attached to it. There are people you can call who make the call for you. Bikers Against Animal Cruelty is one of those organizations. You know, if you have the evidence and, you know, you can clearly present the case and it's in fact cruelty, they will keep your name anonymous, and they will make the call for you. They've said that here on the air a number of times. So please don't let animals suffer in this cold. Like I said, I can't imagine 5 minutes my dogs are like, you know, peace out, I'm done, it's too cold. Their little paws are going up and they can hardly walk. So I can't imagine having to stay out in that weather. Just not right. So do your part and don't leave your animals out. But I have to imagine if you're watching the show, you're not one of those types of people. I'll give you that much credit. So this is that show where I have asked for my viewers and my friends of friends to submit their pictures of their pets for Christmas. So I have a whole bunch of them. There are multiples of some. There's, one-up deals of others. And every year I manage to mess it up somehow. So I'm going to hope that I don't mess it up this time. We'll say, the fifth time through is a charm. So we're going to start with Tonka. That's my boy. Tonka belongs to my bestie, Sarah, and her... Huh? Yeah, he's pretty dark. Zach is like, freaking out. He's like, wow, he got dark. Zach met him for the first time when I met him for the first time, when he was just a little puppy. And even at being a little puppy, he was, like 20 pounds. He's a Cane Corso, and he is over 100 pounds now. I got to spend Thanksgiving Day with him, and he is just amazing. But yes, Tonka belongs to Sarah and Mark and Blake and Parker, and he is just really such a good dog. And I can't wait to see where he tops out when he's full grown, because he's going to be a monster. Yay! Here's Zach's in there. Zach, you should see the brindle on him too. You can actually see it coming through. It's amazing. Zach's like, I need to see him again. He's grown so much. It's incredible. But he's gonna grow, and that's what big dogs do. So anyway, that is Tonka all set and ready for Christmas. There's a very cute picture of him dressed like that with the girls by the tree on the Christmas card. Yay me, I got one, and Max chewed the corner of it, but we won't tell anybody that, will we? So anyway, yep, that is Tonka. Next up, we have Camella. Now, Camella belongs to Noreen Lotko, and she is one of Desmond's Army's soldiers and new to Pound Posse Presents. So, Noreen, thank you for watching and all you do for the animals. You're a pretty cool lady. But Camella is there waiting for Santa. She's keeping her vigil. She is a Sato from Puerto Rico. She's a rescue. And she's absolutely beautiful. And she, like I said, she's keeping her vigil waiting for Santa. Next up, we have a multitude of pictures from my friend Sherry Joya, who is the president of For the Love of Jack. The first pictures we have are of Schroeder and Ollie. And they seem to, Zach, can you answer that? They seem to always be together in every picture. Very bonded pair of kitties. So Schroeder and Ollie are definitely in love with each other, that's for sure. And they are working on being as best they can be for Santa, because they know he's coming soon too. Next up, we have Samuel Rowland and Shelby Louise. And they are gorgeous as well. There's a couple pictures of them. She seems to have these pairs that like to just hang out together. It's pretty cool. She's got a number of animals as well, but that is Samuel Rowland and Shelby Louise. Everybody is on the watch for Santa. Next up, we have Betty White. And Betty White is beautiful. Betty White has a history, and she was rescued. She was abandoned, and she was in terrible shape. You can scroll between the Betty White pictures. There you go. That's Sherry with Betty, and there's Betty all decked out for Christmas with her pretty little barrette. Betty White was dumped, and she had horrible skin infections, and she had several health issues. So she keeps Sherry on her toes, that's for sure. But she's a beautiful girl, and she's always dressed to the nines, and she is absolutely ready for Santa, and I'm sure Santa will treat her well. Next up, we have Paco Rabanne. And Paco has very interesting markings on his head. It almost looks like the inside of the peace sign. But Paco Rabanne is absolutely adorable little guy, and he's got some little health problems too, but he's a good boy, and Sherry is going to make sure that Santa treats him well as well. The next one we have is Charlie, and Charlie is the feral cat that Sherry takes care of. He'll let her love him and pet him and take care of him, and he won't let her pick him up. So he's got his lifestyle and he's used to it, and that's sometimes until the right time is the best you can do. But she goes to feed him in all kinds of weather, and bless her heart, as well as bless all the people who do take care of the colonies and the individuals. And it's a whole dynamic. And I was having this conversation with somebody earlier today, but Charlie will get a visit from Santa too, because Santa loves all animals. Next up, we have a trio. We have Saffron Monsoon, also known as Saffy, Bruce Lee, and Oliver Franklin French, who are all rescues that belong to a wonderful lady from Bikers Against Animal Cruelty, and we know her on Facebook as Jennifer Duke French. She's a very fun person, and there are stories to be told, but this is not the time, nor is it the place. But these are her babies, and they are so cute, all decked out and waiting for Santa, and their little package and their little hats. It's just too, I love this stuff. All right, next up, Allison Leo Milliken, as we know her on Facebook. She's always going to be Allison Leo in my head, though. A good friend, a great animal lover. Let's get the picture up of Buckus. And there he is. I guess this was done with a mouthful of peanut butter, if I'm not mistaken. Allison tried to get all of her dogs to dress up for the pictures for this, and she said they just wouldn't cooperate. And I really think that sometimes when we're trying to do these things, we think it's going to be easy, 1, 2, 3, but they have some kind of secret pact where, they know that you're just trying to get it done, and they don't cooperate. But Buckus is a beautiful boy. She got him as a teeny tiny, and he's growing fast too, just like Tonka. And he's going to be huge too. I can't wait to see who ends up being the bigger boy. They're just like a couple months apart maybe, and it's going to be a close race because they're the same kind of dog, and yeah, going to be pretty good. So there's Buckus. We also have Blaze. And there's Blaze by the tree. And if you notice that big green ornament on the tree, that's a very special one. Yeah, it really is. I see it on the tree like in almost all these pictures. But Blaze he's just gorgeous too, and he's such a good boy. I remember when Blaze was just a teeny tiny puppy, and I ran into Allison in a store one day, and I was carrying him around, and yeah, he's no little teeny tiny puppy that you're going to carry around anymore, that's for sure. Next up is Blaze's dad, Scooby. And there he is, a slightly older guy. Nobody looks happy in these pictures, Allison. That's all I got to say. I know you're watching. I can only imagine what you had to go through getting these done. But yeah, Scooby is Blaze's dad. That's a whole big long story. But Allison was right there to pick up the pieces of what happened when Blaze was born, and she ended up with Scooby as well, and kudos to her. Those are two of the most beautiful black shepherds you'll ever see. And last but not least, in the Allison Leo Milliken camp is Busy. And she doesn't look any more thrilled than the rest of them, but have antlers will travel, and Allison got it done. I wonder if all of them had to be coerced with peanut butter. I don't know. I don't have that much information. But there are all of Allison's dogs, and thank you for sending them in. Next up, we'll start with Doey. Now, Doey belongs to Kathleen Fieldman, who is another of Desmond's Army people, and had the pleasure to meet her a time or two. And Doey is a rescue from Georgia. He's a double merle, and he has a condition called microphthalmia, and I don't know if I said that right, but he is absolutely gorgeous. His eyes are smaller than the average eye, so that's definitely a medical condition and something that, you know, I imagine he can't see. I don't know, but most dogs who have that have limited vision at the very most. So he's definitely a special dog, and good for her for taking him in. Also belonging to Kathleen is Sailor. Now, Sailor was a private rescue. He has a condition called cerebral hypoplasia, or some people call it cerebellar hypoplasia, which is a defect in the brain. And I get what she's calling him Sailor was really kind of funny, because they wobble like a drunken sailor, because they have, you know, something is not fully formed in the brain and they don't have the motor skills. So that's kind of a cool name, and he's actually a very gorgeous kitty. You know, you look at that face, look at those eyes, how beautiful. Everybody's waiting for Santa. That's a beautiful thing. And last but not least of Kathleen's pets, is Mystery, who is a kitty. Mystery is now 14 and was adopted at 13. So, you know, here we go with these poor animals who find themselves in need of a home at an older age, and bless the souls that take them in. So that is all of them. Next up, very near and dear to my heart, let's get the picture of Buster and Bentley up. Buster and Bentley with their mom and dad, Michelle and Pete Hamilton. If you've been watching the show for any length of time, you know that Buster and Bentley were my fosters 4 years ago. They were a little bit of a tough sell, but this is actually their first day, you know, bringing them to their new home. So let's go on to the Christmas pictures. And there is little Buster all set and waiting for Santa. And there is Bentley waiting for Santa. They're so cute. I love getting these updates. It's absolutely amazing to me to be able to keep in touch. Next one up, we've got Bentley helping his brother Thomas. And I think there's another picture. And there they are opening their Christmas presents, it looks like. Yeah, so I'm going to interject here. People love to, well, let me take the camera back for a second. I'm fading through anyway. I don't know what you're doing in there, Mike.
That's not us. We don't know what's wrong.
Oh, okay. So yeah, when you foster an animal and you place it, and you can keep in touch, and you can see these beautiful pictures and get the happy updates, it is such a wonderful thing. So people, if you adopt, you know, the fosters are going to know the dog in a way that maybe you didn't. They're going to be able to help you understand your dog a little more. And trust me, when rescuers and rescues and foster homes, when they adopt out a dog and they're having a rough day because things are awful, you know, it's amazing to be able to get the updates on those rough days, to see those beautiful pictures. It just does your heart so good. So don't ever hesitate to keep in touch with your dog's past life. It makes a big difference. All right, so next up, I digress. My friend Robin has one of Zach's favorite buddies, Orca. Orca! Zach's doing it with me. I don't know if you hear him. I know you love Orca. And there is Orca with Apollo, aka the puppy, and Lucy. And they are definitely ready for Christmas. Out in the snow looking for Santa, maybe even. But there they all are. And Orca is going to actually properly be on the show one day. I know he will be. But there he is. Apparently, Orca's been a little naughty because there's some ornaments that are missing off the tree. But, you know, that's a whole story that maybe I shouldn't tell because maybe Santa won't find out. All right, next we have Diva. And Diva belongs to another one of my Bikers Against Animal Cruelty loves. We know her on Facebook as Lynn Carlo LaFog. And I know that Diva is a hound mix. And she looks like she's looking up in the sky to see if, you know, Santa's coming yet. And beautiful dog, beautiful lady. I love my back people. Alrighty, next we have my friend Doreen Miller, another Desmond's Army soldier. First up we have Ava. I love Ava. Got to meet her at Bow Wow Bark in the Park. She's such a sweetheart. She gave her mommy a hug. It was so cute. But there's Ava dreaming of, I don't know, what is that? You know, sugar plums, visions of sugar plums all danced in her head. That's exactly what that looks like. Then we also have Chase. And Chase is adorable. Little antlers, little bells, waiting for Santa, maybe wants to pull Santa's sleigh. And finally, we have Cooper. And Cooper is very handsome, waiting for Santa with his tie. Beautiful, beautiful dogs. And I know that Doreen is a little under the weather, so I'm going to send out get well wishes on the air to Doreen. Please take care of yourself. We need you. Desmond's Army needs you. Your family needs you. Your puppies need you. It's Christmas. Don't be sick. All right, I'll take the camera back for a second. And there's, hello. Thank you. I know. I'm putting you through your paces tonight, Mike. Get over it. And imagine that there were no oopsie pictures where Zach got to interject and make me have ears. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so, no, that was not a challenge. Oh, right then. Zach's feeling really full of himself, but it's all good. Yeah, he cut his hair. He's like, you know, he's 20 pounds lighter without the hair. All right, so there's a dog that I just want to bring to your attention in the last few minutes. Kind of really boggles my mind, his story. Let's get Petey up. And Petey is an adorable little terrier mix. He has been at the shelter for almost 10 years. He was found by a Good Samaritan sleeping in a lot under buses at night. She worked to gain his trust and got him into rescue as soon as she could. And there he has sat since August of 2008. I can't wrap my mind around that. Petey is described as a typical terrier, which means he probably needs an experienced home because terriers can be headstrong and, et cetera and so on. And no small kids. They end up having a little bit of a prey drive sometimes. He's said to be good with most other dogs. Petey loves walks, playtime, and car rides. Petey's with Bobby and the Strays in Freeport, New York, which is in Long Island. And if you want to find out more about Petey, you can email adopt@bobbycares.org. That's adopt@BOBBI cares.org. Folks, it's way past time for him to go home. He has missed out on a lifetime. And again, I just can't fathom that in 10 years, there has been nobody that could give him a chance. There's been nobody that has even come close to being able to be the right home for him. I'm really tempted to make him like my project, but the last time I made a dog my project, it kind of ended not so great because it just did. If anybody remembers Bonnie and Clyde, not that anything really bad happened, but it didn't end the way it should have as far as what happened when the rescue took them. Yeah, I said it out loud. But yeah, please, Petey is posted on Facebook. You can go to Bobby and the Strays Facebook page or their website. Please share him. Let's do something so that, you know, at almost what, if he was a young dog and it's been almost 10 years, he's probably a good 11, 12 years old. So unfair for him not to have had a life all these years. I mean, not that he hasn't had a life, but he hasn't been in a home. He's missed out on all of that. So yeah, let's make this a project, folks, and get Petey into a home, please. All right, I will take the camera back quickly and just gonna tell you that tomorrow, Sunday, December 17th, Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals is having their annual Pictures with Santa. So if you're up in the Worcester area of Massachusetts and you want to have your dog's picture taken with Santa, or you want to stop by and visit with Sweet Pea and see Juno, because Juno will be there. It is from 12 to 3 at Standard Auto Parts, 257 Granite Street. Again, that's in Worcester, Mass. There will be refreshments, and hopefully you can stop by and say hi. I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next weekend, there is a show next weekend. I will see you then. Thank you for watching, and good night.